Peace be upon you. Shadow work, the painful one. Yeah, please don't shoot the messenger. Have compassion. Aries, what's your trial here? Doom and gloom and married woman. You're inconsistent, unreliable. You ask for a lot but never offer it. Basically, all of the things that you expect from others, you're not able to provide. If anything, you are bad news in people's lives. They perceive that. They perceive that you bring trouble. But I guess that goes hand in hand with that potential of raw force that is not channeled, it's not explored, it's not tempered, it's not intentional or purposeful, directed. There's no agency involved. There's just raw potential. And people don't know what to do with it. Because to begin with, someone like you doesn't really take neither advice nor counsel, nor allows themselves to either be guided, directed, corrected, advised or instructed. And so the problem is where you're resistant to instruction, correction, and guidance. So you have a lot of raw power, like atomic energy, that can blow up at any given time. So a quick temper, etc. Inconsistency. You don't offer or provide neither genuine safety, security, protection, a sensation of stability, or you are unreliable, quick to anger, entitled and demanding, all based on potential. Again, you expect and demand all of the things that you cannot provide. Taurus, oh, two cards. Taurus, healing in reverse, and the enemy in reverse. You're not even trying to do shadow work. Not at all. All of your faults, they're fine. They're right there where they're at. As a matter of fact, you may have the tendency to portray them as qualities and virtues. Travel. You have a restlessness about you. You are trying to channel said energy. But you have this tendency of not taking other people's pain, etc. into consideration, unless it suits you, for as long as it suits you, and then you just drop them like it's hot. You can pick up and leave or drop someone at the blink of an eye, which goes in such contrast with the initial sensation of, stability and security and care and empathy and affection. And the moment things start breaking down, even though you present that potential of someone that's going to pull the same card with you, loyalty, resilience, and so on, the moment it doesn't suit you or you ask to make a genuine effort, you're just out the door. That's kind of you may escape responsibility or facing things at a deeper level when they need to be addressed, especially if you feel that you've got nothing out of it. It's either uncomfortable or... So you're not as giving as you appear. Your giving is rather transactional and interested. There's no genuine care or selflessness here. So for us, the ostentations as your giving when connecting with others actually is, your availability, your openness, your tenderness, your kindness and care and support, and you're out the door the moment it no longer suits or serves you, or you've decided that someone is either in need of your actual support. So basically you have the tendency of dropping people at their hardest. You can be extremely critical or even blame them for it. You use that as a justification for you checking out. There's cowardice when it comes to your challenge here. It's a cowardice. It's escapism. It's being way too comfortable and embracing change. But that said change is embraced based on, it's very opportunistic, based on when, the wind, where the wind blows, basically. So overall, you're actually unreliable. You can spend 10 years with someone and up and leave in the blink of an eye, which is actually terrifying if you think about it. You're better off not committing then, or not trying as hard as you do initially. Leave some space for people to entertain the possibility of you not being able to be there forever. Your loyalty and your kindness is merely surface level. And again, it's determined by interest or comfort or self-interest. In other words, you take, you deplete, and you go. Cancer, Gemini, pardon. Wait, Cancer, we'll get to you. So again, we're doing shadow work. We're facing the unpleasant aspects of ourselves. In case you're wondering why the hate, well, that's why. You can, stand in line for that. Gemini, okay, fortune in reverse. Greed. I need to be admired, fame. Regardless of your actual, rather more timid, shy, reserved, introspective, and hidden aspects. You're an introvert, but you're also a covert introvert, in the sense of that you secretly aspire to being on top of the world. Rule the world, yeah. Your marriages are always successful because they're strategies. Yes, you know what you want. You always know what you want. You're a master strategist, and you tend to get what you want, only to fall out of grace ultimately. Filling the bucket and then kicking it, as they say. The foundations are lacking. Whatever you set out to your mind to do, you achieve it. You achieve the perfect life, white picket fence, etc. You seem to have a meaningful, purposeful life and journey, and very involved society in people's lives, and at the same time there's some level of infamy. There's a hidden aspect to you. I believe you loathe most people in the world. You consider them to be beneath you. Your problem is too much success, ego, not being able to lose, not knowing how to lose, not entertaining such possibility. And most importantly, you don't believe neither in fortune or luck, but neither do you in God or providence. The cult of self-worship. Cancer. This for a specific group of Geminis, eh? Obviously, it's not everyone. That's the same stage or degree. Cancer, conversation. Too much talk. Yeah, too much talk, empty talk, etc. Inconsistency. A tendency towards either indulgence, addiction, and so on. You have a hard time being on your own. There's no introspection. There's no meditation, prayer, solitude. There's no connection with divinity. You do anything you can to keep yourself distracted. Your challenge is you keep yourself distracted way too much. Messenger and money in reverse. You've also kind of, your priorities are a bit, problematic, because you've been spending a lot on some entertainment, holidays, leisure, sports, self-care, but to an excess, parties and so on, possible alcohol, etc. And you're called to be more responsible, to ground yourself, to come back down to earth, to tend to your responsibilities, and to develop a new connection with money. But more importantly, Stop trying to escape responsibilities, pain, or life in general. Escapism is your problem. Some level of egoism and recklessness or irresponsibility due to emotional weakness, inability to be genuinely connected at an intimate level, and fearful of your own emotions, spirituality, etc. Leo. Love. You love with a passion so intensely, but you struggle to let go. You can be addictive, possessive, controlling, tyrannical. It's love for the sake of love, not for the sake of the connection or the person, or you love the idea of love. It's very intense. You cannot take a no for an answer. You enjoy the courtship stage and phase, and the thief in reverse. And you can be extremely controlling. I think when you enter someone's life, you take full control, almost as if you cancel the person out entirely, completely disregard their choices, or you're going to determine what love is, how the connection is going to transpire, when, how, where. They have absolutely no. But karmically speaking, you lack the ability of determining or choosing an actual counterpart. You have a set of traits, but that's all. So it's never about the other person. Yep, you have strong or higher moral values that you aspire or tend to and hold up to, but at the same time, it doesn't translate properly in the practical. It's toxic, it's dysfunctional. You're not open to communication. You don't believe in an actual partnership. If you're a masculine, you believe in gender roles. You tend to undermine. If you're a feminine, you're going to embrace the same kind of a masculine. You know it all. You have all the answers. You're impeccable. Your character, your behavior, nothing wrong can be ever said of you or to you, or so automatically everybody else is wrong. That's your approach, especially in personal relationships. And you control, you command, you ordain, you either decide whether you bless or curse or allow, or oh wow. And you look down on people's weaknesses, vulnerabilities. You set standards for others, even though sometimes you yourself may not actually live by the very things you preach, but you may miss that aspect entirely, because it's all in the name of love. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions. In reverse, you give with expectations, or rather almost as if conditional. It's blackmail energy. It's I own you. It's again, because there's a sensation of everybody being broken, weak, dysfunctional, except you, of course. Virgo. Virgo, ever the servient, the humble, the gentle, ever perfecting, working, and analyzing. The thought in reverse. Your issue is overthinking, getting stuck in the mind, not communicating your thoughts, and therefore your mind space kind of takes control and rules over all else. Your wisdom is an ancient one. It's a wisdom of old. It's warm, it's gentle, it's protective, it's tolerant and kind and empathetic. and wise. People can count on you, to always be there, do the right thing, work hard. Yet at the same time, people feel as if they can never really get close to you. You have a hidden aspect, an inner world, that people seem to be intimidated by. They never can go past that point, because how protective you are of your inner worldly, your mind space overall, your analytical processes, the sick. Stress may lead to ulcers, stomach issues, high blood pressure, overindulging, and you're overly serious. Basically, you're over serious, and you exhaust yourself to a point whereas you don't find joy in life anymore. Not really. Highly committal and unwilling to be flexible. Yes, you way too firm on certain positions. You leave no space for people to try and either know what you're thinking, dialogue, debate, etc. And it's not ego, it's just your nature overall. Speaking of, you're highly introspective and analytical. You can also be extremely critical and intolerant to other people's views, ideas, etc. It's not ego, again, in your case. It's your very nature that in its negative aspects tends to kind of build this valley, this chasm in between you and the people in your life. Which, by the way, they will be there because obviously you are someone they can trust. But there's no intimacy. There's no genuine connection. You're afraid of being emotionally hurt. You tend to be extremely loyal, and you hate feeling vulnerable, exposed, or someone knowing what you're thinking of. So you hide everything way too much. That's ultimately gonna further have you feel a sensation of isolation. Again, yeah, communication is a problem. Dialogue, debate, compromise, innocence and vulnerability, and the great Lord. You're highly esteemed, but again, you need to allow someone in your inner sanctum, in your processes, you need to explore new ideas. You're way too strict, and you hold on to some ideas that are rather sometimes need to be revisited simply because they're outdated. So you're way too strict when it comes to your set of values and system of doing things and routines, and you're not allowing yourself to be spontaneous, to rejoice, to explore, to find genuine joy. Not everything has to make sense, or so in the smallest of things, in conversations, in socializing is a kind of an issue. Again, there's this great chasm, not because you're a terrible person, quite on the contrary, but there's something so impersonal, even though you're warm and gentle and highly sought of after and esteemed. It still appears as, well, outdated, right? Outdated, closed off, and no matter how much you're thinking, you still seem to be going around in some form of a box, right? That you never stray or go past certain limits that you yourself have set for yourself when it comes to your analyzing the world, etc., worldview, processes. So that again leads you to being very limited and restricted. You could do a lot more if you could only entertain or at least hear other people's opinions out, and views and takes, and dialogue more, debate more, find a way, an outlet to express it. And yes, that means being vulnerable, exposing yourself to other people's views and possible criticism and disagreement and so on. So I believe your inability to convey your thoughts has to do with your fear of criticism, judgment, and fear of abandonment or denial or rebuttal or judgment and criticism. You got to expose yourself to criticism. You got to be courageous enough to be told, you know, that maybe someone else holds a different view or opposite to yours sometimes, or so you're afraid of conflict. So you've basically shut out all and any type of debate. So you're not absorbing information, you're not enriching yourself. You just go around working with the same old mechanisms, thoughts, mentalities, principles, and which, yes, they're sturdy, they're firm, they instill security, but again, they're so limiting. There's more to life. Allow yourself to be a bit more non-conventional, more spontaneous, more explorative, entertain crazy ideas and so on. Libra. Libra, two things are faced here. Wait a minute. Enemy and great consolation. Your loss of hope. You have a very negative outlook. You're a Debbie Downer. Oh yes, and a Karen and a Sheila, and whether you realize it or not, your energy pushes people away. You're not someone pleasant to be around. Inadvertently, you may turn yourself as the one at the center of attention, either through victimhood, dissatisfaction, stuff that you're currently going through. There seems to be a lack of consideration towards anyone that's there, right? Any other person present. And curiously, you're doing it in such a kind of a humble, almost kind of a manner. You're like that person at the back over the classroom that raised their hands and shouts something or is going through something traumatic. So the whole classroom has to turn to that person and think about how selfish that person is once they discover that what they're going through either has no resolution or is no one else's business and so on. And they interrupted the whole class, which they all have to redo. The whole world almost needs to stop because you're angry, you're upset, you're troubled, you're struggling, the expectation is just so out there, even from complete strangers, even from people that have nothing to do with it, and almost as if people may perceive you as if you're intentionally trying to ruin everybody's mood, everybody's perception of reality, even though that may not be, or it's just currently how you see things. It's very pessimistic, it's very closed off. And even in communication might there be dysfunctional, dishonest, you may block, ghost, etc. Not leave space for others to have a comeback or a reply. It may translate as filtering out or even protecting others before you say something you may regret. In reality, again, you're protecting yourself. Even though your energy says, hey, I'm struggling, hey, hello, what about me? At the same time, you're kind of retreating and hiding in hopes that the world will come to you somehow. You're expecting the whole to move or stop, depending on what you're currently traversing. There's a disillusionment energy as well. Free fall, since they've fallen on their own. The challenge is writing more, messaging, opening up. Maybe you find it easier to convey in writing. You need an outlet as well, much like Virgo. Again, this issue with communication, I think you're opening up now. Again, this energy of the giving, the kind, the serving, but it has such a heaviness to it, almost as if it has expectation attached to it. Hey, here's a flower, now save my life, heal my heart. Like what? It's very heavy energy. You're capable, you're skilled, you're gifted. You are trying at any opportunity. It's in your nature to jump and help, but again, it comes with this price of then messing it up somehow, making it about you all of a sudden. So even in doing good, there's some self-righteousness, there's a tendency to aspire towards excellency, and because of lack of self-esteem, and I feel the need to always be on top. You're extremely demanding of yourself. Your own worst enemy, absolutely. It takes such huge effort. Why? Because you are dishonest. In your kindness and generosity, you have been dishonest. You've done good there where you actually didn't want to. You forced yourself into doing things you didn't want to. One time too many. Even there where you weren't supposed to. You had options. So you want no repercussions, but at the same time you take no accountability for your attitude, your energy, your lack of involvement or effort. This is so disempowering. And you always shatter the fleeting moment. It's either sacrificed for the past or on the altar of some future. In reality, you yourself have constantly restricted yourself, limited yourself, while needing to make a huge effort just to appear regular. That's your problem. You keep trying to appear normal. And this normal translates in, it's clothed in humility and victimhood, injustice, in selflessness and righteousness, in selfless service in general, kindness and humility. So you're, in reality, you're extremely powerful, but you keep trying to portray yourself as someone who is always willing to take orders, to be told what to do, to be directed, to be... I'm fine. You're currently limiting yourself, whether it's in a job, in a relationship. You keep putting yourself down. You keep swallowing your own truth. You betraying yourself over and over. And this led to this. It birthed this, which now is more and more so coming to the forefront. Frustration for having done things, or having been kind, having loved, having served, having worked. There's the frustration that has been built in the background. It's because you've kept allowing others and anything and everything to make those choices for you, even when it went against your desire, almost as if you feel guilty for having your own nature, your own choices, your own desires, oh wow. You feel life is pushing against, pushing through, pulling away. Oh wow. Life, even in the mundane, is a burden to you because you're meant to definitely shine. That's the reality. You have a bias towards that because you may associate it with just ego, right? So you aspire to something higher. So it's a form of a self-sacrifice that you've been practicing, except to the point whereas you lost yourself. You forgot who you are. And most important, you forgot your own strength. You're at the mercy of external forces. It's a counterfeit humility. It's a spiritual ego, which in the practical is absolute chaos. Your desires were never met. You were fine with being exploited, abused, disrespected. Wow. You deserve no joy in life. Nothing. Nothing. Right? That's what you believe. You are convinced that you deserve nothing in life. And the superego manifested as a counterforce to that in the background to tell you, don't reduce yourself. You deserve better. Why is everybody else getting it and I'm not? Wow. You are getting it. You just don't see it. You got to step out of this dichotomy. Nice on the surface, bitter within. Stop trying. Yeah, ask yourself how many of the things that you've always felt you had to, or you forced into, or you didn't have to, or at least you didn't have to perceive them with the heaviness. To you, everything is life or death. It's existential. And you don't find any other purpose in the present, but rather to do with burning out karma, etc., correcting the greater evil in the world, saving the whole world. This never You didn't master, conquer, or know the actual self. It's the self that's asking you to come to the forefront, to be more indulgent, more caring, more loving towards yourself. Even in communication, you're waiting for others to reach out to you while you sit there bitter, frustrated. And you need to start speaking up, pursuing, taking it upon you to express yourself however you please and so on. Conversation in reverse. People don't want to talk to you. They don't want to hear it. You open your mouth and it's just either dishonesty, toxicity. And people feel, no matter how efficient you are or how beautiful the gestures you make, and they feel this energy. The entitled, the expecting, the demanding, the manipulative. They always feel that there's a different you, opposite to what you appear, that your kindness is dishonest. And they're right. You're most glorious when your kindness is spontaneous, selfless, and genuinely unrequited. But your kindness, you directed it all, as in your effort, your sacrifices, your only on certain specific people. Delirious twice. And you manifested people that you thought could never really criticize or refuse you, or the people that you've connected with are people that you have absolutely no respect for, absolute disdain. You deem them to be worse off than you. You're exploring how it feels to live with no concern or care, reckless, impulsive, irresponsible, in the moment, vicariously through others. So you chose inconsistent, irresponsible, because you yourself never took it upon yourself to find that balance in between the ever-serving, servitor, etc., who cannot say no due to her nature, so everybody tramples all over her, right? And then, and this aspect, the other aspect that's frustrated due to a sensation of restriction, lack of freedom, lack of love, support, care, acknowledgement, honor, recognition, rights, prosperity, health. Everything seems to be denied to you. So again, on the surface, you seem to embrace some gratitude and purpose, and you're trying, but it takes such a huge effort because there's this bitter you here, this hurt, this broken, very lonely, and I said, doesn't know how to connect with others. Extremely demanding and criticizing, critical of herself first, and she thinks there's something terribly off with her. She knows it, so she puts an effort to be whatever best version of herself she feels she needs to be, and it's usually based on what she determines other may expect from her, and that's where the betrayal is, the deception. Oh, okay, mourning, oh yes, doom and gloom, the black widow energy. Careful, sisters. For the brothers, it's kind of the same energy, inconsistent. Scorpio. You have no problems with honesty. Okay, everybody comes to you for advice, the friend. It's one of the personas you have. Death in reverse. That's you right there. And you don't practice what you preach. You have the best advice that most of the times and regularly do not apply, and sometimes don't even believe in. It's not heartfelt. It's wise. You're telling people exactly what they need to hear with a spin on it. You are the figure of the mother, the archetypal father, the wise old, or yeah, but you don't live by it. You don't live. There's inconsistency. There's some dishonesty and some. I believe it has to do with people observing your choice in partners, and most of the advice you give is general wise, life wise, again very wise, but which you don't live by. You're nobody's friend. That's your problem. So again, you have that spin of raw honesty, but I don't believe it's controlled, or I believe just once in a while the mask slips. You can make an effort in the best of conditions to be that friend. But when the mask slips, you send someone straight into oblivion. You have them question their entire existence. It hurts when you hit them with that tail of yours. Oh yes, it hurts. In your choice in partners as well, there seems to be the revelation of this other aspect of yours. Again, very rational. Much like Virgo, you have an aspect to you that it's all yours. Your mind is secret. And you control it in the sense you're only going to focus it on certain matters, such as love, etc., integration. But you're very quick to lose your patience, your temper, when it comes to the matters that you cannot emotionally process. You have regrets. You're stuck with regrets. You cannot forget. You cannot forgive. Bitterness due to regrets, and in regards to choices in love especially, and relationships in general. You tend to navigate towards younger people, to advise, again, to travel in reverse. There's some closed offness. You're very modern, and again, you connect, you enjoy, you're younger, usually appear younger than your age, and can navigate through the generations with elegance and ease, and decent, mature, wise, but at the same time very fresh and supportive, and you're non-judgmental, and but again, at the same time, you do hold strong values, and you are extremely judgmental, and it's time that I believe that face is being revealed now. You can be extremely strict, judgmental, critical, unforgiving, intolerant. Yeah, the bitter old lady in reverse. This is a feminine past middle-aged that is struggling to keep a straight face anymore, or lie to people, and therefore she appears as straight up cruel. She's honest to a fault in a manner that is absolutely crucial and useful. It does affect relationships, but again, you're no longer willing to entertain falsehood, deception, or you've learned from past relationships, and you're calling out falsehood where you see it. So basically, you are a host and a vessel for karma, which tends to push a lot of people away. You're trying to kind of temper that out in order not to, literally push anyone and everyone away. But you're no longer willing to compromise. You're going to accept still socializing and etc., still give advice, but this time is unfiltered. You don't have the patience, you pass that. Domestic, you don't care about anyone else's opinions. You can be extremely cruel, because again, in certain regards, you may give out advice that yes, it makes sense and it's wise, but it lacks empathy. You feel intensely people, their negative traits, and right, but are you elevating them? Where's the intention? I believe there's none. You're just raw karma, correction. But it's painful. It's criticism. It's from you. The energy behind it is just transformed. It throws people off course entirely, and it's shocking. You can shock people, traumatize people. You need to keep that in mind. You didn't have these traits when you were younger. Again, You had more tact and flair and strategy and elegance, and you were less judgmental. But now, yes, left and right. Are you developing a taste because of bitterness for hurting people and calling them all of their faults out? Do you also elevate them? Do you compensate there where you care for someone, or do you even care? I believe you've decided to completely emotionally detach. And that's something maybe you could think about. As in cruelty, right? Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you say one thing, then you go back on it, and you keep flipping it and reverse it, and oh, yo, yo. It's not because you're not making up your mind, it's just because how you approach things. It's a lot more efficient for you in that sense, because messing people up and dazing and confusing them allows you to get away with pretty much anything. It's very intense. And the Child and the Widow in reverse. Young lady in reverse. Travel in reverse. Inability to sit put and tend to responsibilities, nurture or grow something, protect, preserve. You don't appreciate vulnerability. You're triggered and terrified, you just run the other way. Whenever you feel someone may depend on you, or actually believes and trusts and has faith in you, you decided that you were going to disappoint them anyway. You've already made a choice in disappointing them, because from the get-go you were dishonest. You keep trying to create castles in the air. You know there are no foundations, it's just going to come crumbling. So in that sense, I believe you're right in determining that people are better off without you. But amidst the people, there's one human here that needed you. Turned your back in the coldest manner possible. Literally abandoned someone here. This is a child, illegitimate or born outside of a marriage, or out of a reckless, impulsive, or you didn't think, let's just say, you didn't care to think to. This is the energy of just, spreading the seed, and there's a child here, that you're terrified of either facing, or ashamed or guilty, or you keep running from it. You may actually support the child to some extent, but if you could, it's born outside of a commitment or a marriage, or wow. There may be more than one. Castles in the air. You never intended to be around. Never. I guess there's an honesty in this, because you never portrayed as a friend or a father or a mother. It could be in masculine. You just ran the other way. The partner or is, I guess, met you halfway in that immaturity and recklessness, and the Tower, escaping responsibility and making sure that nobody sees you for who you are, right? The deception, the false promises, and so you keep running and ghosting, coming back, etc. But there's someone that you're not even in their life. Escaping responsibility. Friend and sadness. And the enemy in reverse. If there was a marriage with a divorce here, which I believe it's kind of a mixture of relationships, you cannot even invoke people not giving you chances. They've given you many chances. And you cannot blame anyone either. There's no one to blame. The enemy is in reverse, the friend. So, whichever the child is, probably a male, it can be a girl, and it's already all grown up. And they were well tended after and cared for, regardless. There is a longing, and if it's a girl and it's a teenager, she waited for a long time for her father, which never came, actually. La Fanciulla is the young lady in reverse, and yeah, never came. Never came, never went. It was there, but never wanted to carry that cross or experience. You are actually emotionally extremely delicate. You cannot process it. That this is way too intense for you. You wanted to, I believe you did. You just didn't know what to say or do, or how can you make amends. So you decided it's a mess anyway, so let's go all the way. Again, there is a level of maturity here and an attempt to reconnect with you. Especially if you have, again, a girl that's right now already a lady. She definitely was upset with you at one point. This is a long cycle. You never got around to visit, to be there, which you can actually reconnect and build a relationship with. It may start throughout the mother. Either way, a room, an empty room here. It can be, what's done, it's done, but you can still build, I guess the energy here, Sag, it's never too late. If you have children in your past, relationships, etc., responsibilities, family, relatives, it's going to require an effort, but I hope you find the spiritual, emotional strength for you to own up to it and maybe start building a connection. Capricorn. Then is it okay? Right. Capricorn, old mentality, depressive energy. Attachment, toxic attachment, mommy issues, and stinginess. You're stingy. Whatever you give, you throw it back in people's faces. It's again transactional, it's manipulation, and you only give it in the beginning. Overly materialistic, obsessed with wealthy possessions, and even to the point of not providing what your loved ones actually need. Always being overly concerned about money. That's all. Controlling, checking what everybody does, eats. Wow. It's depressive. It's terrible energy. It's absolutely terrible. What you're struggling with is fear and lack mentality, which led into you being overly materialistic and therefore hard to be around. Pisces. Aquarius. Hope. Money. And joy. Delirious in reverse. Well, you were just living your life. You were staying true to yourself, to your nature. bit, well, irresponsible to say the least. You've always had help, but money is not going to fall from the sky anymore, or whatever funds or resources you had that you used either for, well, you've exaggerated. It can be addiction, you had money at one point. It may have been an inheritance or just friends showing up, believing in you, supporting you, but you never really changed your ways, never. So it's the closed off, the relationship with money, much like Capricorn, for you it's toxic, but it's toxic because you don't appreciate them, and you throw it in the wind, and you've never really earned your money, have you? For you, the only way to earn money is by doing something you absolutely love. Otherwise, you're unable to work with others, or be an employee, or follow rules, or it's within your nature. But you can only live so long reckless, and I'm sorry, it doesn't look good for you at all. You're still hoping, you're holding on to how things used to be, money coming, just falling from the sky, growing on trees, while, well, yeah, not even considering the fact that you're spending even money that you do not have. For you, relationships are more important, even if they're toxic. The wrong crowd here. It's the wrong crowd. Consoling surprise is the lucky find and winning a fortune. So you may have taken chances when it comes to, you believe in luck, or attempted or tested your luck, and it's failure. And you're counting on the kindness of people, of the hard-working people to constantly support you. Well, not anymore. So your challenge is to, well, support yourself. No longer count on other people's kindness or sacrifice and support. So for you, it seems almost as if you're interested. No, I do believe that your connections are sincere, and they're not conditional. But at the same time, you keep counting on it, and you're living off of other people's backs. You're not participating or giving anything into society. And then again, you have the right to live freely, but that means that your standard of living is in the ditches, and it's absolutely terrible. And you deserve to live, a clean and safe and decent life. But you're called to kind of, pull up the sleeves. You do seem to have the health here. What you may be struggling with are rather more existential problems. We all do. But yeah, reality calls, and reality, do what you can. So, no one is going to enable you anymore. People are starting to pull away their energy because they're realizing that they're enabling you. Enabling behaviors that are absolutely destructive. You're brilliant, you're capable, you would be amazing, inspire others, and Aquarius, but the humanitarian. So it's the wrong crowd, and you ended up probably either homeless or I pray you get yourself out of it and heal. Addiction may play a role in that as well. And don't pity the devils, as we say here. Pisces. Cause and effect. Actions have consequences. It's time to mature, practical wise. Start manifesting. Pisces, okay. The servant, the maid, the letter, and the merchant. You're struggling to appear as a person that anyone would want to work with. There's a problem. You keep losing jobs here. Taurus, you don't seem to understand the magnitude of your situation, and that you need to improve because you're hard to work with. You're radical, you're inconsistent, there's anger or toxic or reckless impulsive behavior, and no person or employee in the right mind would hire you. You spell trouble. You're not trustworthy. You're inconsistent. The room, the friend, and the enemy in reverse. Someone is still deciding to give you a hand here. You've been kept afloat by someone who understands your circumstances better than you do. Wow. You have to increase your effort. Laziness is your problem. Affirmation. Your whole body is a process, holistic and dynamic, which supports or maintains your existence. And the affirmation is, I am responsible for my life. Shalom.